Hey everybody, I'm your girl, Mrs. Toy Banks, the world's most satisfied wife, and it is my ultimate goal that every wife discover the secret sauce to becoming a satisfied wife. And it is also my goal that married couples discover a satisfied marriage. And today I'm going to share with you something that husbands and wives ought to do in order to achieve total satisfaction in their marriage. And listen, I know this is going to be challenging because guess what? Naturally, we are selfish at heart and we want to blame the other person for the problems that are currently going on, okay? But usually, if there's problems in the marriage, both of you have a responsibility in this issue. Now, I know that there are people that say there's no me in team. Well, actually, if you take the M off the N and take the E off the front, you can find me in there. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. They say there's no me in team. There actually is a letter M and an E in there, and I need you to pull that out right now. Okay? And I need you to focus on. There's a lot of people right now that's saying, I need some me time. I need some me time. Well, I'm glad that you said that because I want you to focus on me. I want you to focus on you right now. Usually, married couples, when they open their mouth to tell you the problem that they are facing in their marriage, they say things like, we are always fighting. We just can't get along. Or they might say, our marriage is in trouble. I mean, we're falling apart. We may end up in divorce. They might say, man, we have no more intimacy, no more romance in our marriage. Man, it's tough, right? But instead of saying that, I want you to reword that so that you can bring yourself into the issue so that you resolve this issue and stop putting it off on your spouse, because that's what many married couples do. They put the responsibility of their marriage getting better on their spouse. You don't want to take any responsibility. You want to sit in the back seat and just let it happen and just think that it's just going to fall in place. It doesn't work like that, people. So here's what I want you to do. When you go and tell someone about your marriage, I want you to say it this way. Instead of saying, we're always fighting, I want you to say, we're always fighting. But if I stop doing this, I think our marriage will get better. What are you doing? You're taking ownership of your part in the mess that's going on in the marriage. And even if the other spouse is worse than you, I want you to ask yourself, what can I do in this situation? So if you're a person that says, our marriage is in trouble, we're headed for divorce. Instead of saying that, I want you to say, our marriage is headed for divorce, but if I stop doing this, I think it can turn around. What is it that you're doing that's making the trouble worse? If you identify what you are doing, just maybe you could save your marriage by just stop doing it. If you will get better, the marriage can get better. You know the marriage is made up of you and your spouse. And if you are causing trouble, guess what? You are a part of the problem. Even if your spouse is the main problem and you are making it worse, well, guess what? You're a problem too now. So you might be saying, man, we have no intimacy. We have no romance in our marriage. Instead, say this, man, our intimacy is suffering. But if I did more of this, I believe that our intimacy in our marriage can get better. See, now it doesn't put the power and the responsibility totally in your spouse's hand, but now you take accountability for your part in it. Can you please just play your part? You know, I see one of the main things that's going on in marriage right now is a bunch of selfish, childish people full of pride, full of envy and strife. And you know, the Bible says where there is strife, there is every evil work. So when you're not dealing with this issue, and when you're not taking accountability for your part in the trouble, then you are responsible for the trouble that's going on in your marriage. You know, I sat with a man years ago. I was at an event. He was at the round table with us. It was three of the ladies that I was there with, and there was this man that sat right next to me, and he began to talk about his failed marriage. And I mean, he was going to town about his wife, right? She was this and she did this, and man, if she wouldn't have did this, and if she would have just did this, and I mean, he was just going, right? Have you ever been around somebody that was like that? Where all they talked about is what their spouse did or didn't do? Are you like that? You need to cut it out. It's ugly, okay? All right. So I asked him this question. I said, excuse me, could I just ask you one question? I said, if you could look back at your marriage and you could say to yourself, what was that one thing that you did wrong? What was that one thing that you did wrong? I want you guys to ask yourself that right now. In your marriage, current situation right now, I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? And listen, your excuse cannot be because he's doing that or because she's doing that, I'm doing this. It cannot be that way, okay? Because now you're giving ownership and your responsibility over to your spouse. When you're blaming them, that's what Adam and Eve got caught up in. They were blaming each other. And so when Adam blamed Eve, he gave his authority to Eve. That's why God stopped talking to Eve, because he gave his authority, his headship, to his wife. So then the wife, she then blamed the devil. And so God stopped talking to her. And what did Satan say? Nothing. Why? Because he said, that's what I came for. I came for your authority. I came for your power. I came for what God has given you. So right now there are people, it might be you, that you're giving your power away by blaming your spouse for your bad behavior. Oh, I'm revenging him because he did this. Or I cussed her out, or I cussed him out, or I called him out his name because they said this. Or I threw something at them because they did. I mean, some of y'all done got quite violent up in here. But you call yourself saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit. So when I asked this guy, I said, so what did you do wrong? And he was like, and this guy done went he is burning my ear up with over 45 minutes talking about his wife, all the bad things she's ever done since she was born. And he's sitting there, and do you know, he skipped over the question and got right back to complaining about his wife. I was like, ugh. You know, it's nothing worse than a man making his wife the ultimate problem in the marriage when you are the chief executive officer of your household. That you're not going to take any responsibility. It's the same thing with a woman. You're just going to blame your husband for everything? Everything. So I said this to him. I said, well, I know one problem. I know one decision you made in the marriage. I know one. He looked at me like, how you know? You don't even know me. And I said, you chose her. Yeah. That if she's all of that, she didn't just show up like that. She was like that before you married her. You talked 45 minutes. This man wasn't married to this woman no more than 4 or 5 years. She showed up in the marriage like that. So if you could say the number one problem, if you don't know what you did wrong, you chose her. You walked down that aisle. You stood in front of that minister and you said, I do to her. So if there was if you can't think of any decision, I'm going to tell you this, that was a decision you made. smiling, hee-haw, dancing at the wedding with y'all little routines. All you was eating the cake and all of that stuff. You did that. You confessed in front of everybody. This is the one right here. This is my boo. My boo. But now the good times and the bad times are here now. And now you just want to throw in the towel. When there are solutions to the problems that you are facing. Listen, I just need y'all to know this. Your situation is not unique. So stop it. I just need you to know. Your situation is not unique. Most of us go through the same problems, just a different face, a different voice, a different person. But we go through some of the same issues. Communication issues? Yup. Intimacy issues? Yup. In-law issues? Yup. Children issues? Yup. Disrespectful issues? Yup. Trust issues? Yup. All of us. So stop thinking your situation is unique. Every problem has a solution, but the solution requires you. It requires you. You want your marriage to be better? You do something. Stop sitting in the back. Wait, well, he the head. Well, he should do something. I'm not doing nothing. He should be. Stop it. Whatever excuse you're holding on to, I just want you to know your marriage is dying in the process. While you sit back and just ignore everything, do nothing, take no accountability of your actions. And if you are a believer and you're watching this, I just want you to know that God is holding you accountable. He said, because I've had many wives say, well, I've been praying and I've been praying and God ain't answering. Okay, I'm going to tell you why God ain't answering. Because he doesn't answer prayers from a heart that is rooted in unforgiveness and strife. He said, if you have aught against your brother or sister, your spouse, he said, leave the altar, go fix it. Because he gave you his word on how to fix it. He said, those who curse you, what you supposed to do? Come on, put it in the comments. Y'all know. He said, when they persecute you, what are you supposed to do? Do you supposed to curse them back? You're supposed to be praying. You're supposed to be forgiving. You're supposed to be bringing that. Listen, we are the peacemakers. And I think we got this conversation wrong. Do you know that a peacemaker is not a peacekeeper? They're a peacemaker. So we go to the trouble and we create the peace in the midst of the trouble. We're not keeping the peace. We are peacemaker. We go to the situation and show how to get back into a place of peace so that they can keep the peace, right? So you are a peacemaker. You have to deal with the conflict that's going on in your marriage. And sometimes you're going to have to take the bigger role. You say, well, I'm tired of taking the bigger role. I'm always being the one to say I'm sorry. Come on, God said, be not weary in your well-doing. There's an answer for that attitude too. That's called pride. Because you think of yourself, I'm always. Well, guess how many times God has forgiven your raggedy tail? I know he's forgiven my raggedy tail a many a days. I'm going to tell you this. My husband and I cannot do this marriage without God. I promise you I would have left him. He would have left me long time ago. We cannot do this thing. This is God's institution. I just need y'all to know this. He created this. He knows exactly how it works. He knows exactly how to cause it to grow. And he knows exactly how it fails. And right now, if you are ignoring the issues in your marriage, if you are making your spouse the bigger problem and the only problem, and you're just stepping back and not taking any ownership of your responsibility. God said, well, the two is better than one, because if the one is down, you're supposed to lift them up. So your spouse might be down, acting a fool right now. That's down, y'all. That's down. They might be ignoring you, not spending time with you, not doing what they're supposed to do. Well, guess what? You're up. You know better. So you can lift that spouse back up. This is welcome to the bad times. Hello, welcome, bad times. Now is your opportunity. Listen, marriage is going to prove who you really are. I was just on a call with a group of single women, and they were talking all this different stuff that they wanted and all this. I said, I don't care what y'all say. When you get into this marriage thing, we will know exactly who you are. We would know if you are a true forgiver. We would know if you're really patient. We would know if you're really kind. If you have empathy for others. We're going to know every characteristic that you can think of is going to show up in this institution right here. It's either going to draw you closer to God or further away. There's no in between in this thing. This is why single people, if you're watching, you can't play with this thing. You can't play with this marriage thing. Marriage ain't no joke, so don't marry one, boo. It's no joke. And it's going to pull everything out of you. It's going to stretch you to be more loving. Love doesn't fail. So if you're failing, it's not because love is failing. No, you're failing the love. Because love, the agape love, it does not fail. However, humans do. Most of us in marriages don't even know what the agape love is. God says, I loved you yet while you were sinners. Right now, your spouse might be down. God said, love them through that. Love covers a multitude of mistakes, failures. That's marriage. Y'all so quick to just give up. This is a canceled culture. This is I'm done. I'm out of here. As if you're going to do better in the next marriage. No, this same thing, these same characteristics that you need to build in this marriage right now is going to show up in the next one. So if you're impatient now, you're going to be impatient in the next marriage. If you acting a fool right now, you're going to act a fool. Stop thinking yourself so much greater. Whatever you are right now, that's who you are. You cussing somebody out, that's you. No, this is who you are. You want to be something else? Joshua 1:8, keep the book of this law on your lips. Meditate in it day and night so that you'll be careful to do it. You'll become it. Then you'll be prosperous and successful. Listen, I've messed up. I've done a lot of things wrong in my marriage. My husband has too. We failed a many a days. But when we realize that we're no good without God, when we realize that we needed a greater coach than ourselves, we needed some answers, some solutions, and we found them in the Word of God. God is the answer to every problem you'll ever face in your marriage. Every one of them. He has an answer. And that answer will always lead you to a life of abundance and success. Listen, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. I just shared this with my Satisfied Wife Club. I heard a quote today, and it said this: living the easy way is hard. Living the hard way is easy. Let me say that again. Living the easy way is hard. Living the hard way is easy. So let me explain that to you. Living the easy way is hard. So there are people in marriages right now, you're just lazy. You're not thinking about your spouse. You're taking the easy way out. You're ignoring the problems. You won't serve your spouse. You're being selfish. It's easy to do that. Do you know how easy it is to sin and to be selfish? The human nature is just selfish. That's the easy way out. But here's what's going to happen. You keep that up. Hard times are coming. You think it's bad now? Keep ignoring your spouse. Keep ignoring your marriage. It's about to get hard. There are married spouses out there that are taking the easy way out, talking to somebody on social media that you have no business talking to, having inappropriate conversations with the opposite sex on your job. You try to take the easy way out because you're having issues in your marriage. I heard somebody say, a woman can lead a man to another woman's bed. We just be making stuff up. Let me say this to you. I can't lead you nowhere that you're not willing to go. That's where you want to go. You just using me as an excuse to go there. That's in you. You can't lead me somewhere that's in me to do that. Then I don't care what you do. I'm not going to do that. But if it's in me to do that, yeah, I'm going to do it because that's in me to do it. It's not hard. We can have one little argument. You run over there to her. You making excuses for talking to the opposite sex and having inappropriate conversations. That's the hard way out. And you sneaking, right? One day you're going to be found out. You're going to lose the respect of your family, the respect of your children. You're going to lose your marriage and your family. And that thing is hard. So right now you're doing the easy thing. Taking the scapegoat, trying to lay up in somebody else's bed or talk to somebody else thinking that they ain't going to be able to stand you after a while in the future either. Y'all think it's better out in these streets? Y'all think it's better out in these streets? Okay. You trying to take the easy way out, and that's going to be hard for you in the future. There's people who, you just want to eat everything and eat bonbons and pizza at night and not be healthy, not work out. Well, guess what? In the future, you're going to have it hard. You're going to develop diabetes. You're going to get sick. You can get all types of diseases from obesity because you're trying to take the easy way out. You're not trying to do anything with your life. So things are going to be hard in the future. So that's what that means. So right now, you're trying to take the easy way out by not dealing with the issues in your marriage. You keep ignoring it. Hard times are coming. You think it's bad now. No, it's going to get worse. But then the other part says, living the hard way is easy. Living the hard way is easy. Right now, it's hard to go to your spouse and say, I know we're going through something right now. And I just want you to know that I love you. And I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I'm sorry if the way I talked to you. I should have never talked to you that way. That was disrespectful, and I'll never let it happen again. I know that's hard to do. But when you do that, your life is about to get easier because what you're doing is you're creating peace. You're calming the storm. So now you're about to get back to a place of love and intimacy in your marriage because you're saying, hey, listen, I want to cover this with love. I want to produce peace in my situation right here. So I'm going to do the hard thing. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to say I'm sorry. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to bless my spouse. I'm going to pray for my spouse. I'm going to find ways to treat them nice and look past the pain. That's the hard thing to do. But that's what God is requiring us to do in marriage. Because you're not going to get to a satisfied marriage without doing that. And let me tell you something. You might have to do this quite often in your marriage. I've had to do it. My husband had to do it. There's times where I had to go to my husband and apologize. There's some times that he has come to me. Because I'm the world's most satisfied wife doesn't mean that we still don't have bumps in the road. See, but there's a difference between a bump and a ditch. See, there was a time in our marriage that we would be on the road in marriage and then we'll fall in the ditch. The problem with the ditch is this. You can't get yourself out. You can't get yourself out. You need somebody else to help pull you out of that thing. And it's costly to fall in a ditch. It's painful to fall in a ditch. Well, now, because we understanding we're doing better. And listen, do we always hit that target? No, but we're trying to be more intentional. So when you're focused on that, you hit that target more often. So now when we hit a bump, when you're going in a parking lot and there's speed bumps, what do? You slow down and you roll over it and you keep moving. So when we hit an issue, when we hit a bump in our marriage, we slow down. We deal with it. We don't ignore it. We talk about it. We cruise over that thing, talk about it, get to a place of resolve. We back on the road to being satisfied. And listen, we never get off the road to being satisfied. We just had to slow down. That's why I say that living a satisfied life, even when it's bad, is good. So when you hit that bump road, you're not falling in a ditch. You're just slowing down. Let's deal with this issue so we can get over it and get back to moving. Are you ready to be the bigger person? You can do this tonight. You going through something right now in your marriage. You husband, you wife, you can do this tonight. You can bring peace to this thing. You can turn this thing around right now with one decision to forgive your spouse and let that thing go tonight. Who's going to do it? Because we can talk about, oh, he's make me mad. You don't understand, Troy. I get it. I do understand. More than you can imagine. I understand. We've sat with many married couples and listened to many problems. I got a Satisfied Wife Club where many wives have shared their issues. I do understand. Your situation is not unique. Listen, there's nothing new up under the sun. We're having the same issues in marriage. Same issues. I am 25 years in a marriage. If I meet another person with 25 years, guess what? We can have great conversation about all the dumb stuff we've done because most likely we've been through the same dumb stuff. Same dumb stuff. Okay? Arguing about in-laws. Frustrated with the kids. Trying to get a balance with that. Right? Money. You spending time with me. We got the same issues. All right, y'all. So it's on you. The baton is in your hand. You ready to resolve your issue? You ready to turn this thing around? Make a U-turn? Because right now you're going down the wrong road if you're ignoring the problems in your marriage and only holding your spouse for the reason, holding them accountable for every problem that you're facing in your marriage, and you're not taking any accountability? Come on now. Come on. You did. You got to take accountability somewhere, okay? So let's do it. And if you did, say, hey, Toy, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it because I love my spouse. You do this for your love for God and your love for your spouse. That's the agape love, that it loves even while you are yet out of line, aggravate me, frustrate me. You do it. That's what the agape love doing. Y'all might do it all this other worldly love, but the agape love, it loves past a failure, a frustration, or an aggravation. Listen, if you are a wife here and you are struggling and you want to be a part of a community, you need to join the Satisfied Wife Club. All you have to do is go to www.satisfiedwifeclub.com. Why should you join it? Because the only kind of wife to be is a satisfied wife. It makes no sense that you're unsatisfied. And if you want to learn the principles and the tools to becoming a satisfied wife, you need to join the Satisfied Wife Club. And listen, husbands out there, you want to bless your wife and give her a gift? Help her to join a community that's teaching her how to manage this marriage and get to a place, not only create, but maintain satisfaction in a marriage, which means there's a perk for you. There's a perk for you with her being in the Satisfied Wife Club. Listen, do me a favor, y'all. Share this post. You have no idea whose life you will change just by sharing a video that would help them get to a place of bringing back peace, love, joy, intimacy back to their marriage. Again, if you want to join the Satisfied Wife Club, go to www.satisfiedwifeclub.com. Somebody put that in the comments for me. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you. I thank you. And I just pray that you did not just listen to this and say, oh, she was teaching right there. She was doing good. That girl out there, that satisfied wife girl, she did good. No, I want you to move. I want you to do something because I really want your marriage to survive. I don't want you to end up in divorce. I don't. Divorce is hard on everybody. Everybody. So come on, be the bigger person. Take accountability. Forgive your spouse. Go show some love tonight. Don't hold this thing off. And if y'all separated, make the call. And say, I just want you to know, I love you. I'm praying for us. I appreciate you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for where I failed. And I'm doing everything I can to be a better person. Not only for you, but for myself. Because I don't even like how I've handled this. I mean, come on, let's do it. Y'all know how to talk. All right, let's do it. All right, thank y'all for joining me. I'm your girl, Mrs. Toy Banks, the world's most satisfied wife. God bless.